So this week's lessons has been a bit of a hodgepodge. It started off, that does sound really, really bad. Not really, honestly. So yeah, it started off with me having a plan that I was going to teach one of my favourite sequences. It involved a little bit of somatic movement, and then it kind of brought us into some really nice deep folds, releasing backs and legs. But then when I looked out at the sky one night, and there was a big fat moon, and I do like to do a moon salute, and you know, and the moon is really nice and bright in the sky. So I'm going to just teach you the moon salute today, but I also kind of want to go into the warm-ups that I do as well with my lessons. So without any further ado, I'm going to get started. So I'm going to bring this down onto the ground to start with. I'm going to have my knees bent just because. So right, yeah, I've just tried to film this with my camera in portrait, and what happened was you couldn't see me on the floor, and then when I stood up you couldn't see my head, so I have to have it in landscape. So ridiculous. So I'm going to have my knees bent, so you have to, or I could actually have my legs out in front of me and you can just pretend you can see my toes. That's another thing you can do. So, can you see my head? No! So, yes, the power of being inept at filming, here it is in its full glory. So here I am on the ground. I can feel my hips, I can sense my lower back, I can feel my ribs, I can feel my shoulders, I can feel the head on the ground. So I'm just giving myself a little bit of a body map. I'm just feeling the way the feet are resting on the ground. Just checking in the weight of both feet. I feel a little bit heavy on my right side compared to my left side. That's something to note. You know, I know that I'm a little bit lopsided. I was run over many years ago, and as a consequence, everything on the left side shortened, and this left hip has a tendency to kind of bring itself forwards. I can really sense that at this moment in time, and that also affects the shoulders. This left shoulder was injured as well once. I think it's kickboxing. I did once, not very for a long time, and I got thrown on the floor and put this arm out and damaged the shoulders. And I can feel that at this moment in time. I can feel that it's just sitting a little bit high off the ground. I'm just tuning into breath, starting just to feel how relaxed I am. Just noticing my energy. Feel quite vibrant this morning. I'm in a really good mood. And that is an energy. And breath feels easy. Now we're going to take ourselves just into an arch and curl just to start with. So I'm bringing some emphasis to my tailbone. I'm pressing the tailbone into the ground. I can feel my spine begin to arch. I can feel my chin tuck in breath. Out breath, I'm drawing my lower back into the ground, and I can feel my ribs and hips joined together. So this is emphasising a red light reflex, the tension down the front of the body, drawing ribs and hips close. And then as I press my tailbone to the ground, it's emphasising a green right light reflex, so ready for action, you know, pumped up chest. Out breath. In breath. And I'm sensing the relationship here between the hips and the head. So because of that spine connected and the spine is moving, my head is lifting, and as I'm going the other way, the chin is sinking in towards the chest. And I'm not doing that, like physically, it's happening as a consequence. So now I'm adding in something with the knees. I'm just going to shift this way so you can see the legs. Oh, this is so professional. There we go. So with the in-breath, I arch. And I'm going to let the knees go out wide. And I'm pressing the outer knees towards the ground. Out breath, the knees are going to draw together, lower back flattens, and I'm pressing the inner knees together. In breath. Out breath. In breath. Out breath. And I'm just going to rest, just let the legs fall out wide. Breathe in here, just letting the weight of the knees drop to the ground. I can actually perceive that these knees are sitting a little bit wider than they did when I first started. So that little pandiculation there was feeling the tension of the inner knees as I was drawing them together, and that in turn then just allows these inner thighs to lengthen out. I can sense that change within me. So I'm going to bring myself up just to seated, way and back to the centre of the mat, so professional. And what else we do? So we've looked at the, did a little bit of spine, a little bit of hips. I'm just going to look at the shoulders a little bit now. So we're just going to bring the hands together. So ribs and hips are over the aligned. I'm not really one for pushing hard forward. I like to find a neutral spine. And, you know, if you sit in as well, this doesn't agree with you. You know, this isn't everybody's favourite asana. This is called easy pose. Is it easy? Might not be. You know, I do see people and the legs are kind of here and, you know, there's roundedness. And it's just, you know, the stories of our lives. We've got tight hamstrings, that might round the lower back. And I said in another video, if the hip bone is kind of, the socket is maybe a little bit further round, it might make it easier to drop the knee out. Then if it's further at the front, your knees might naturally just go up and might never come down and, you know, soften outwards. So if this does not agree with your, you know, with you, you can sit maybe like this. You can put a cushion underneath you, because this might, you know, your knees might be telling you not to do that. So, you know, you can soften things off. We can get cushions. Look, hello cushion. Oh, that's quite nice and lifted. You know, you can also place a cushion behind your knees. Oh, that's lovely. So you can, that takes out tension behind at the front of the knees. You might even want to extend your feet out in front of you, you know, whatever. But what I'm just asking really is just to find the level between the ribs and hips without kind of compressing the lower back and feeling tense. So here I am. So hands are at heart centre. I'm going to take an in breath here, and then on the out breath I am rolling my pelvis. My pelvis is tilted backwards, my hands have come forwards. Then I'm going to let the hands lead me up. So on the next in breath, those hands are rising, they are lifting up the spine. Out breath. In breath. So again, C shape here. In breath. Out breath. In breath. I'm just going to take a little twist, look to the side. And look to the other side. I'm always very conscious of not doing these videos too long, so I might just kind of do that a few more times in lessons. Anyway, I'm going to get you to stand in, and we're going to, yay, I'm still on camera, we're going to do this moon salute. So in a moon salute, the idea really, you know, there's different versions of it, and this one to me, I like it because it, there's some quite extreme, there's some way, you know, I think it's a really hard one to teach. There's one way you know, you start and go this way, and then you go into a warrior, but I want to go this way, and then you come down, or you go into warrior, then you come down, and then you're on the ground, and you're pigeon, and then you get people to come up, and you go, and to teach this, can you imagine teaching this? It's a nightmare. Oops, it is, I've come off the camera already, and here you are in this, and then you're in a pigeon, and then you back up, and then you stand. It's horrible. Everybody's dizzy in a class, and so out it went. This one is a lot easier to do. It's it actually kind of follows the warriors and a few chairs. I love it. So here it is. So here I am on the front of my imaginary mat. For some reason I should just bring it in, but it's quite nice to practice on your carpet. You don't need equipment. And I'm going to find my Tadasana. So bottom shifts back, knees are bent, arms are rolling forwards, heads bowed, and I'm going to straighten up the legs. Hips are gliding forwards. I'm stacking the vertebrae of the spine, letting my head look up. And then here I'm going to take hold of the moon. And then I'm going to shift my tailbone back, let my spine stack. And notice here my hips are over my heels, my ribs are over my hips, and looking forwards, holding the moon. Very small. Now I'm going to take myself down into chair, and I'm going to keep the spine as it is. So the knees are bending, and I'm trying to get the middle of the knee to float over the middle toe, and I'm just sinking down. 5 breaths here. I can check my big toe, little toe, back of the heel are all resting. I'm not rolling inwards. These knees, outer and inner, are aligned. And then I'm shifting my hips back, letting my belly drop down onto my thighs, and I'm kind of placing that moon on the ground, and my head has fallen down. She realised she's off camera, but there you go. Bending the knees, using the legs to push back up. And then I'm going to take my left foot and I'm stepping it back, moving into what is going to next be a warrior position. So I'm going to begin to bend the right knee, so right knee over ankle, ribs and hips aligned. Both feet are pointing forwards and the head is gazing forwards. So I'm just trying to again keep that alignment through the front of the body. Don't let the heart come forwards. You know, if you find that this is quite a hard thing to kind of maintain, lifting the back heels, sliding the toes slightly back, can kind of keep this lower back nice and long in my experience. So I'm going to press and step forward. So I'm just going to glide back because I'm going to take myself into the next pose, which is a warrior 3. So I'm kind of resting my weight through this right foot. Taking my hands down, just down to my lap, just to kind of hold the moon at my belly. Left foot is coming away from the ground. And I'm just kind of finding my way into warrior 3. So it doesn't have to be, you know, the gymnastic version. It could be here. It might be here. It might be all the way up here. Or it might be. Bringing myself back up, and then typically then I would step myself out into warrior 2. I'm facing completely the wrong way, but I don't care. So my left foot's turned up, my right foot's turned forwards, my hips are aligned, my arms are now going to come out and I'm holding the moon in the palm of my hand, looking to my right hand. Exhale, right knee sinks over the heel, resting back into this left foot, balance between the feet, 5 breaths. Rising up, sun warrior, 5 breaths. Rising back, and then we're taking myself into Asha Chandrasana. So this is why it's, you know, it seems to be a moon sequence. So Asha Chandrasana is a side balance. So you might have a block in your hand. You might kind of treat, I like to kind of do a softer version of it, which is kind of just, again, resting into this right leg, keeping the hip over the knee slightly soft, reaching my right hand out and my left arm up. I'm just kind of taking myself into star balance. But then I might feel that I can go a little bit lower and taking the right hand down, pushing out with the left, whoops, the daisy, and half moon pose. I'm just extending back with the left foot. The right knees in the direction of the toes and the right knee slightly soft, hips aside. Bring yourself down. Replace the moon to the ground. And then rise back up to standing. So I'm going to just keep rolling, let those hips come forwards, arms float back, taking the moon from the sky. Hastasana, gazing forwards, 5 breaths. So again, knees bend, trying to keep the spine long, not letting the ribs come forward, sinking down to chair, 5 breaths. Again, hips shift back. And again, place the moon down on the ground. Belly is long over the thighs. So again, what I'm not doing here is rounding. I'm keeping the belly lengthened along the thighs. Those legs are providing support. And because these arms are outstretched, it's really nice sensations through the shoulders. Little fingers are resting on the ground, palms turned inwards. I'm going to bend the knees and again use the power of the legs to rise me up. And then typically stay in one place, but I have no space, so I'm stepping the left foot back the wrong foot, right foot back this time. And again, sinking into my warrior. So the left knee is going to go over the left ankle. Oh, she's so rubbish at this, still a malarkey. gazing forwards. Hands moving down, and I'm going to step into the softer version of this pose just so I've got the space to stay on camera. So I'm rising up into my simplified version of Warrior 3. So I'm just letting this leg, the hip, take the weight of the body. You know, it's really good for strengthening ankles. These balance, I can really feel that left ankle feeling challenging. It's my weaker ankle and also the weaker hip, and again it's from the accident that I had many years ago. Okay, so I'm stepping out wide. So again, left foot's pointing forwards, right foot's pointing outwards. Heel to inner arch. Hips, shoulders, heads align. Keep my ribs tucked in, and then I'm floating these arms out, sending the left knee forwards of the ankle, and I can see the big toe on the inside edge. Breathing here. Moving into Sun Warrior. Rising back. So again, I need to wiggle so I can keep this on camera. So I'm now going to step into this left foot, and again deciding, do I want to take this as a soft balance? Do I want to take the right hand up and the left arm forwards? And just kind of feel the balance here. But I do like this pose, so I'm taking that left hand. It's just slightly behind the body, and again I might have a block under this hand, the knee slightly bent, turning the hips out. Keeping the ribs tucked in, so again try not to arch the spine, and then raising the right arm. Lowering the moon, and then rising back up to standing. So yeah, that's been part of my classes this week. So there is my moon salute. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will no doubt be back with another lesson. I might teach what I was going to teach this week next week, and so you'll get the joy of that then. Bye.